or good morning, depends where you are in the world. We are going to be talking to you today about a very, very important part of health, which is stem cells, and something that not a lot of people know a lot about. We've got a super special guest and a world authority joining us this evening. But just to get things started, I will introduce myself as I'm hosting this evening's online event. My name is Natalie Dau, and I am a fitness trainer, a nutritionist. I work in the health and wellness space around creating content. I have my own fitness app and work with both governments and private and public companies trying to keep everyone healthy. So my passion is to keep myself healthy as an ultra runner, but also to influence people for them to live their best lives. Now, I love working with really interesting brands and really interesting people that are at the cutting edge of technology around health and fitness. And tonight we're going to be talking about that. Now, I would love to introduce our super special guest this evening, which is Christian, joining us from all the way from Austin in Texas. So Christian, if you can just introduce yourself to our audience this evening, that would be wonderful.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Nice, real pleasure to be here with you tonight and with everyone listening. So my name is Christian Drapeau. So my background is neurophysiology, which is brain research. So I did my initial work at the Montreal Neurological Institute in Montreal. And then from there, I was hired by a company that was selling an aquatic botanical called AFA, and my task was to develop the research team and the whole research program to better understand what that plant was doing on the body. And in the course of all this research, then this is what led me essentially to the field of stem cell research. I'm sure we will have more time to talk about all of this. But when the field of stem cell research was, so to speak, born, the reason why there was such an interest and impetus in that field is because of the recognition that adult stem cells have enormous regenerative potential. So while the whole field went into the direction of isolating stem cells from various sources, developments of sophisticated treatments, what really piqued my interest was that if stem cells are already in the blood, in the bone marrow, in our fat tissue, in all of our tissue, then what is the natural role of stem cells in the body? If they have such amazing potential, they must be doing something in the body. And it is that question that really led, to the development of various products. We will talk about this a little bit later. But essentially, that's what led to the next 20 years of my career. So I'm also on the board of director, the editorial board of the Journal of Stem Cell Research and Therapies. I've published many studies and many articles in the scientific literature. So essentially, my field has been the development of a concept called endogenous stem cell mobilization, which means the release of your own stem cells as a way of tapping into the potential of stem cells. So there you go.
Wow. And I think there's so much information out there around health and wellness, and, stem cells is something that may be quite new to a lot of people, and they don't actually know what a stem cell is. So, maybe let's start the conversation. You touched on it briefly then, but, what is a stem cell and what is its role in the body?
Yeah, it is something, you're correct, Natalie. It's an interesting paradox because I think in today's world, everybody has heard about stem cells, and yet probably not a lot of people really understand what it's all about and what stem cells are. And the best way to answer the question as to what is a stem cell is to first describe what is not a stem cell. All the cells of the body are so-called somatic cells. They're the cells, your muscles, your lung, your pancreas, your liver, your brain, your skin, all these cells. They are specific. They do one specific thing. They will never transform into anything else, and they will never multiply. So at the other end of that spectrum, you have stem cells. Stem cells do not do anything in the body. They sit there, and their role is, as master cells, is to transform into other types of cells. Historically, they're known to be the precursors to blood cells. So they make your red blood cells, your white blood cells, and your platelets. And what became this birth, if I could say, of stem cell research in the early 2000s is the discovery that these stem cells not only can become blood cells, but they can become cells of virtually every tissue of the body, and it opening the door for a new field of regenerative medicine. You can regenerate the body by tapping into your own stem cells. They are the master cells of the body.
Wow. So, I mean, tonight we're going to be talking about Stemregen, and it's something that I've been consuming. Now, I don't take supplements, but I've been taking this for 10 weeks, nearly maybe 11. And when you're talking about recovery and things, now I'm an ultra runner. So, I'm clocking about 120 kilometers a week. I'm not young anymore. But my recovery has been fantastic. I can get up, run a marathon, then get up and run a marathon the next day as well, and not feel tired. So, is that something that Stemregen helps and stem cells repair and makes me feel that good?
Exactly. That's exactly what the product does. Now, given that we don't oftentimes come across people who run a marathon every day, so your story is fairly unique. While being unique, the phenomenon behind this is a very, very common phenomenon. You cannot run a marathon or do something like this without generating thousands, if not millions, of micro lesions, micro injuries in muscle, joint, tendons, all these tissues, and they become micro injuries that require repair. It would take normally a week for these kinds of injuries to repair, and that's why you feel sore, for about a week after an event like this. But stem cells, their role is to repair these injuries. So if you put more stem cells in circulation, then more stem cells are available to start this process of recovery, and it's much faster. So what you're describing there is probably one of the most common benefit that people report, is that they will do sport or they will do something that is unusual for them, and instead of being sore the day after, they feel like if they hadn't done anything. It is just because it just accelerates the process of tissue repair.
Well, great. I think that's a great lead in. So let's take a quick look at a video that talks more in depth about stem cells and how Stemregen is helping people.
Your body is made up of different types of cells, creating the organs and tissues of the body. Every day, these organs and tissues lose cells that must be replaced. To accomplish this task, your body has a master cell, your stem cell. Stem cells have the ability to duplicate and differentiate into almost any type of cell in the body. They are a vital part of the body's natural ability to repair itself. Whenever there is an injury or a problem, the damaged tissue sends a signal to the bone marrow, triggering the release of stem cells. When stem cells come in contact with the damaged tissue, they migrate in the tissue and transform into the cells of that tissue. The past 20 years of research has led to one main conclusion. There is a direct link between the number of circulating stem cells and the body's natural ability to repair and stay healthy. There are many ways to increase the number of circulating stem cells, but none are easier and more accessible than Stemregen. Stemregen is a proprietary blend of 7 plant extracts and nutraceuticals: sea buckthorn berry, AFA, bladderwrack, noto ginseng, aloe vera, beta-glucan, and transfer factor. Each ingredient has been documented to support the natural release of stem cells from the bone marrow. As the strongest stem cell enhancer in the marketplace, Stemregen is a scientifically proven plant-based supplement that repairs, renews, and rejuvenates.
I think that's a great introduction to what I've been taking over the last couple of months, most definitely. Now, what other health issues can something like Stemregen help with? I know we've certainly heard about stem cells when it comes to something like cancer. So what other diseases or benefits do people get from, stem cell growth?
Yeah, if we talk about cancer, this is sort of a different issue, which we can definitely come back to if we want to. But when we talk about stem cells and the whole concept here of endogenous stem cell mobilization, which really means the release of your own stem cells. So when we talk about stem cells, if you go in the media and on the internet, everywhere about stem cells, what you read normally is the isolation of stem cells from a source, which can be your blood, your bone marrow. The most common source today is your fat tissue. You can also tap into umbilical cord stem cells. I mean, this is what you can read on the internet. What we rarely talk about is that these stem cells, they are already in your body. If they are in your blood, if they are in your bone marrow, if they are in your fat tissue, you release stem cells every day. It is part of your normal physiology. So endogenous stem cell mobilization means increasing the number of stem cells in circulation, not through an injection, but by releasing your own stem cells. So when we put this into this general context, the thing to understand is that stem cells, by design, will go and identify the tissue that is in need of repair. So if someone's pancreas is not doing well, stem cells will naturally be attracted to the pancreas, will migrate inside the pancreas, and then will do what they are designed to do from the day you're born. They will help repair the pancreas. So I know that I'm answering your question in a very broad way, but I think it's really the best way of positioning it, which is there's not like one specific problem. It's just that they're little workers sent out to go into various tissues and repair, rejuvenate these tissues. So that's how they work.
And then how does something like Stemregen help in that process?
In all the, if I summarize all, of course, this is a very, very general summary of all the research. It's easy to go into the detail and get more complex. But if you really look at the scientific literature, there's one message that is emerging from all the studies on stem cells, is that more stem cells in circulation means that more stem cells are available to participate to tissue repair. There's a direct link between your ability to repair and how many stem cells are there in your bloodstream to participate to this process of tissue repair. So a key parameter here is how many stem cells do you have in your bloodstream at any point in time? And that's where Stemregen comes into play, is that it is a blend of plants. We talked about this aquatic botanical that I started my career with, but since then we have identified a number of them. They're all blended into Stemregen. So these are plants that have been documented to support this release of stem cells from the bone marrow. So anytime you take 2 capsules, you just put more stem cells in circulation, so more stem cells are available to participate to tissue repair. It's really that simple.
Well, that's great. Now you said, plant-based. So is this, purely plant-based? I know people are always concerned with what they're putting in their body. So, I think I get asked, and one of the number one questions that I always get asked is, what supplements do I take? There's a lot of supplements on the market that you read the back of the bottle, and that's not necessarily what is in that bottle, because it's quite an unregulated market. So, there's people think that buying expensive sometimes is great, but there's a huge difference, right? And I know with this product, you've put in a lot of work to source very, very good ingredients. So could you just talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So all the ingredients are indeed plant-based. I must say there is one exception, and it is a highly fractionated colostrum. And the reason why we still keep this ingredient in the product, it has nothing not that it has nothing to do with milk, but there's nothing of milk, if you want, remaining in this very, very, very extensive extract. It's a very extensive extraction process. And the only reason why we keep it there is because it is so far the most effective ingredient that we have tested on stem cell migration. We have seen over the years that it's one thing to release stem cells. It is a key parameter But if we support the ability of stem cells to then migrate in the tissue, then we sort of really have a stronger, we have greater benefits. The effect is stronger by supporting both the release and the migration. So we have colostrum in the product. Otherwise, everything is plant-based, and you are correct. So these are ingredients that have been developed over the years. I did travel to all the places where these ingredients are being harvested, are being grown. The sea buckthorn comes from the Tibetan Plateau in China. The aloe comes from Madagascar. The seaweed extract comes from Tasmania. So I have a relationship with all these vendors. It is very, very important. Like you said, it's an industry that, although it is fairly well regulated, there are ways to go around it. And if you read on a label one ingredient, sea buckthorn extract, for example, you could have vastly different ingredients in two bottles that seem actually identical. So my mission with Stemregen was to really use the very plants that have been tested in the lab for stem cell effects. So it is these extracts that have been tested, and I did not want to pay attention to cost. My mission here is put together absolutely the best product that I can put together, and then the price will be what it is. But at least it's a product that people can trust. They know that this is going to make a difference in their life. So that's what we have with Stemregen.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you mentioned 2 capsules a day. Is that a standard amount that people need to take?
Well, 2 capsules will contain, generally speaking, the amount of each of these extracts that has been documented to trigger stem cell release. So one event of stem cell release that we have quantified in the scientific, in a study published in the scientific literature. So the reason why we do it this way is simply that we can then take the product and really point to the scientific literature and the studies that have been done on the product. It is clear to me over the years, although the studies have not been done for this, but it's clear to me over the years that it is dose dependent. If you take more, the benefits are more substantial. This being said, I do believe that the greatest results are obtained by taking 2 capsules. And if we want to get more benefits, then you simply take 2 capsules more than once throughout the day. So you can do this 2, 3 times a day, and you just spread them throughout the day. And if you want a very rapid boost, if you want in this ability to repair, then you can do this for a short amount of time, 2, 3 weeks, but do 2 and do this several times a day.
Okay, great. And then what other benefits have you seen from people that have taken it? What's some of the feedback that you've received? I mean, I have to say my skin has been fantastic as well. So, that's definitely one of them, especially wearing a mask all the time. I found that I feel like I'm glowing. And what other things have you seen?
Well, a person like you, Natalie, is exactly this. They will say, because understand here, your skin is the largest organ of the body. It renews every month. It uses a lot of stem cells. So if you start to put more stem cells in circulation, then obviously many of them will go to the skin. So it will be very common for people to say, people around me are telling me, what are you doing? You look more radiant. So by a person like you, it's going to be your skin, your hair, it's going to be your recovery when you do some exercise, and then anything that could be lingering in your body. Let's say you got an accident, something happened 15 years ago, and you're just left with something in your knee, your hip, your back, whatever. And then you will suddenly realize that this is sort of evolving, it's transforming, and it's now starting to recover. So this will be, like, I would say, very, very general. Outside of this, if you talk about more specific problems, we have to be sort of careful because studies have not been done with these various conditions, diseases. So I cannot specifically, ethically mention any of them. But what I can say with a lot of certainty, because we've seen this now for 20 years, I have seen so many cases, thousands of cases. Stem cells can go and repair the pancreas, can repair the brain, can repair the lung, the liver, the skin, the joints. It can basically go virtually anywhere in the body and help repair tissues that are associated with various kinds of health problems. So we have seen Many benefits, some of them fairly extensive, and actually we have published some of these cases because they've been analyzed clinically. So let me just state one, and I don't want to go into too many details because I don't want to make claims here, but we have patients, quadriplegics, that have regained mobility. For example, stem cells can go to the spinal cord, they can go to the brain, they can go anywhere, and they can do what stem cells have been doing since the day we are born. They simply repair tissues. That's what they do.
Yeah. Now, I think a lot of people maybe started to take more supplements and different things as we're going, through this COVID-19 fiasco over the last 6 or 7 months. So their awareness of looking after their bodies more is certainly out there, but people are confused around what to take. So how would you see something like a Stemregen just helping in general, if people are just looking to improve their general health on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, before I go there, I think it's important to mention Stemregen was initially developed for doctors. So my vision with this product was we can fully go with all the science with this product. We can talk about all the clinical trials that were done, which oftentimes is kind of limited when we simply talk about a dietary supplement. COVID came and changed a lot of these, of the strategy here, because we can no longer have these one-on-one meetings with doctors and doctors' clinics. So it's changing, evolving a little bit how the product is being presented. So, but directly to your question, there is a phenomenon, if we specifically talk about COVID here, that is rarely talked about but is fairly significant. It is the fact that while stem cells normally is discussed in the context of their regenerative properties, they will go to a tissue and they will help repair that tissue because of their ability to transform into cells of these tissues. But there's another thing that stem cells are doing also in this whole process. The first thing that a stem cell will do when it lands into an area that has some damage is that it's going to release a lot of compounds, generally called cytokines, that will first reduce the inflammation, sort of temper the whole crisis that is taking place in that area, and then we'll start to coordinate the entire immune reaction and repair process. And the reason why I'm saying this in this context of COVID is that people don't die of COVID. People die of the overreaction of their immune system to a new virus. That's really where the issue is. So people may have read about this. They call it a cytokine storm. It is this storm of inflammation in a tissue that leads to the failure of that tissue, that leads to that. The virus itself is not by itself a very severe thing. So stem cells will go, mesenchymal stem cells, a type of stem cells released by Stemregen, will be attracted to the site of tissue damage caused by COVID, will calm down this cytokine storm, and then will make the immune system just handle the situation very simply. There's a study published on this in China where they injected stem cells into individuals, and in everyone in whom they injected stem cells, within about 2-3 days, they were all released from ICU. So there's a strong body of data behind this. We have not yet tested Stemregen for this application. So I'm talking here in theory, but we do have some individuals who have used it with COVID, and that has been also their experience.
That's great. I mean, inflammation is such a big issue for a lot of people, and people don't realize they have it a lot of the time. I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, and I have to say, after taking Stemregen, I'm sort of I get up in the morning and I'm not hobbling around as I get out of bed, which I was doing for many years before that. So I can certainly attest that something has changed in that, which has been fantastic. So I just think, and obviously with my recovery, so I think just for overall inflammation, it's a great strategy for people. And most of the time they don't even know their bodies are inflamed.
Correct. Yeah, inflammation is a huge issue, to the point where we're actually working here in the development of another product specifically addressing inflammation, because, but already, as you have experienced, Stemregen will also do that. We talk about inflammation most of the time in the context of joint pain. You get up in the morning, exactly what you describe. What is not talked about as much, which is super important, it's a new field of research that is really emerging, is that inflammation has huge insidious consequences. Inflammation has been associated with metabolic syndrome, poor sleep, poor concentration, even depression, poor skin, a background here of dysfunction in many different tissues, cardiovascular problems, and you don't feel it. So, you call it silent inflammation. You don't feel it in your arteries. You don't feel it in your brain. You don't feel it in these areas. You don't even know that it's there. So it is indeed a new field of research that is fascinating.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I think, there's been some great testimonials from people. So I think let's take a look at a video with some people talking about success they've had from stem cell treatment with Stemregen.
I love to play golf. I had a heart condition about a year ago, and I was advised to take Stemregen. In fact, the doctor advised me not to play golf for at least 3 months.
5年前，我开始中那个马丁森，当时我的手相当会发抖。经过朋友的介绍，服用这个 Stemregen， 所以改良了很多。
My job is very demanding, especially when we have to fly so many miles up in the air. I had several lapses of jet lag and followed by a lack of concentration, which was really affecting my job performance. I started taking Stemregen, and the results have been phenomenal. It's been a life-transforming effect for me and my family.
When I first started taking Stemregen, what I noticed was this new glow in my skin that people were commenting on. I'm an actor, and I work long, hard hours on the set that require stamina with my mental clarity, with my focus. Ultimately, knowing what stem cells do in the body, I find that Stemregen is my long-term strategy for maintaining optimal health and keeping that youthful and vibrant glow for as long as I can.
I'm a dentist for the last 32 years. I've always been very intrigued by the body's innate ability to heal itself until I met Christian Drapeau at a hospital lecture in early 2009, and I found this missing link. Since then, I've been working with endogenous stem cell mobilization product on various health conditions on my patients with amazing results.
This year, I'm 75 years old. Everybody try to find better exercise, better food, better supplements. After I take a Stemregen, I feel more energetic for my workout.
I thought I could never play golf again, but after consuming Stemregen, I was surprised I'm back to my normal health.
Now, I'm more confident when I hop on board, and that is the most exhilarating feeling ever. I love it.
Stemregen is truly a life-changing product.
Well, there we have it from some of the people that have used the product. Now, I would like to invite two special guests that we have with us today, Miss Sophia and Mr. Sunny, who are going to be joining us now to talk more about their experience. Here they come. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Sophia, let's start with you now. You're post-ovarian cancer patient who had stage cancer. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about your story and experience?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Actually, way back 2018, I was diagnosed ovarian cancer stage 3C. Then, I denied my chemo and my radiation. So I went to conventional medicine. So after a year, then 2 months ago, I actually come across Stemregen and I checked with them, am I able to have it because I'm a post-cancer patient, although my pathologist actually cleared me already. So I've been taking the capsule for 8 weeks, and I really very grateful to have it because since I'm having issues with my hormonal imbalance and estrogen deficiency, I could able to sleep like 9 hours a day already without waking up in the middle of the night. I would see that my skin is more radiant. I have like rosy cheeks right now. I'm not using makeup. And I think I could ever focus on what I'm doing because I work as a marketing specialist and in aesthetic clinic. So I'm really, really very grateful to be part of this STEM region.
Well, and if you're in an aesthetic clinic and you're saying your skin is improved from Stemregen, then that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually because in our clinic is as more on aesthetic like injection, so I'm not into it. Yeah, so I was into a plant based while taking it. So I drink a lot of water because I could sense that during I had it already, so I could feel that I'm thirsty. So I tried to drink more water.
Okay, so you feel like that just thirst has been a side effect, so you're aware of it.
And I know it's working already because I could drink. I know my skin were dehydrated before. The video I've sent to them, I was totally different. They were actually surprised to see me after taking it. Actually, like 4 weeks ago. So now is another 4 weeks. It's actually going more nicer.
Great. And how did you hear about the product originally?
Again.
How did you hear about Stemregen?
Actually, I was trying to research of my situation because I was into trying to be in a plant-based diet, and I read some articles. Then I came across with the stem region because I know stem cell will be good for me, as well as I read it was a plant-based. So I tried to keep in touch, and I asked them, am I able to have it? And I told them my case. Then they get back to me. Then they actually tried to give me some article and show me the video. Then I started to drinking it, and now I'm all good.
Fantastic. Well, you look a picture of health. You're gorgeous. So
yes, because we want to age gracefully, especially for us women. I think this product suits us very well.
Yes, I think so. Now, Mr. Sunny, you have had some bad knee and back problems.
Yes.
You want to share your story with everyone that's tuned in?
Okay. I used to have a knee problem, and it was quite bad because whenever I go to Sunday mass and I want to kneel, and when I get up, it gives me a lot of pain. Is it? So I was trying to find out how can I, find something to cure this. I've been taking a lot of other products like fish oil base and everything, and I came about Stemregen in Facebook. So I read about it, and I believe in plant-based product. So I think that anything that is plant-based is much better than taking those are more chemically based. So when I read about it, and then I tried to contact the people who are involved with it, the representative. I told them my problem, and they told me, okay, why don't you try Stemregen? So I took the product for about 2 months. The beginning first 3 weeks, I was taking 2 tablets a day, and I couldn't feel much of a difference. So they told me that you have to increase the product, and maybe take four a day, because you need circulation of the stem cells. So I tried, and I tried on the 4th week, and the next following month, that's exactly 2 months I took the product, and to my surprise, my knee, I could just kneel down and get up, and I could do a lot of exercise, and I could do a lot of things that I couldn't do with my knee problem, and that really gave me more confidence on stem region, and I started to read more about it, and now I'm feeling much better. I can really kneel, I can stretch, and I feel so good. And no problem. And if I go to mass and all, kneeling and getting up, So that's one thing good about what I found out about Stemregen, that the cells movement is, when you take 4 a day instead of 2, it works better,
Yes.
improves better. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
like what Christian was saying, that you need to take more of it, to put in more cells to rejuvenate it. So
and
that's my
that
story.
and that was the only thing that you changed for your knee to feel better, was just increase the dose, and you saw
Yes.
a dramatic change.
Yeah. I guess I needed more because of my age and all. Maybe I needed to increase more, is it?
Well, you're 21.
No, I'm 59. Oh, another thing I'd like to say, that I find that my skin has become more smoother,
Yeah.
I feel, because when you shave, you will see the difference, is it? So I used to have a rougher skin, but after taking it for 2 months, I feel so smooth when I shave and everything. So I think it also helps in your skin cells, also to improve your skin cells, I guess.
So not just for ladies, the guys can look good with
Yeah, I guess so. That's something I found out. Stemregen does.
So the husbands are stealing the wives, the wives' Stemregen.
The wives will get jealous. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. And is anyone in your family commented on changes or seen you move much better or differently?
My daughter, she likes to hug me, and sometimes when she hugs me, when she puts her cheek against my cheek, she used to complain. She said, "Daddy, your cheek is very rough and all." But after I've been taking this for the 2 months, she hasn't been complaining anything. So I guess I feel that she feels that my skin is more smooth, and she's only 12.
And I guess being able to move to play with her and things without
Yes.
knee and back is helpful as well.
Yeah, it's helpful too. Yeah. I feel more feeling more at ease and more younger feeling playing with my daughter.
Great. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Sophia, was there anything else that you would like to share before we let you get on with your evening?
Yeah, I would like to share also that I'll just realize my hair grows longer, and actually my eating habit also, like I'm enjoying eating more on vegetables right now, so I'll try to cut down meat, so it helps me like to rejuvenate myself. And I feel I've been going to hiking already. Before I haven't tried, so I have more energy, and I sleep well. The important is actually sleeping well at 9 hours a day is actually a very good sign already for me.
That's fantastic. Wow. So you guys are both killing it. I love it. Well, thank you both very much, both for joining us this evening and sharing your stories with our viewers. I'm sure they really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Ms. Sophia and Mr. Sunny. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you for Stemregen
Yes, thank
for
you
changing my
for
life.
giving us.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christian. Okay, that's wonderful. So I think I'm sort of trying to gather some of the questions that are being asked. If you're up for some Q&A, if that's okay. I know there's been a couple of questions that come up around dosage that I'm seeing. So people are talking about what is the right dosage? How do you know? What time of day should you take them? I know we touched on it a bit, but maybe just if we just delve a bit deeper into that for people.
Okay, so it's a question that comes to a large extent because of the sort of, I would say, the traditional view for drugs. You know, you have a specific dose that needs to be taken. A little bit beyond that dose, and you start to fall into toxicity. And here we need to keep in mind these are plant extract. They are unique plant extract, but they are derived from plants that have been used for some of them for thousands of years. Sea buckthornberry was documented first, maybe about what 2,500 years ago. It's been part of Tibetan medicine, Chinese medicine, Mongolian medicine for centuries. So what is new about a lot of these ingredients is we're discovering now a very specific effect on stem cells. That is a novelty. The use of it has been there for a long time. So there's no worry about taking too much. So in terms of the right dose, I would say our experience is that it is the more you take, the better it is. We've had some individuals with one capsules having great results. So it really seems to be more personal than a really generalization here of what people should take. So I would say play with the product, see what seems to be working best for you. Generally speaking, one dose is 2 capsules. I would say that a good approach would be you start with 2, you do this for a few days, then you increase to 2 twice a day, 3 times a day to really fully see what your body can do with all these extra stem cells. And pass this first wave of tissue repair, then you can slowly come back down to more of a maintenance level that would be 2 a day. So that would be sort of, generally speaking, a good approach of taking the product. But everyone will be different, so people can just experience with it and play and see what works for them.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call to help listen to your body and understand what's going on as well. So there's some body awareness around that. Now the question is, and I know we did touch on it, but people are saying, why is the cost higher than other supplements? And I think that if we reinforce your story before around quality.
Yes, I mean it's a difficult question and an easy one at the same time. A difficult one in the sense that exactly why is the price so much more than other dietary supplement? And I guess the complexity comes from the fact that we compare it to other bottles that are there on the shelves, other dietary supplement, and it is not really. Yes, it is legally a dietary supplement. It is classified as a dietary supplement, but it was not designed like a dietary supplement. It was designed by searching plants that would have one specific effect, and to go for the best extract from these plants, the best source for these ingredients. And my vision or my aim with this product was to not look at the cost. And I'm saying this, and it may not mean much to people, but the point is that I've been developing products for 25 years, and without one exception, there's always a cap as to how much the product can cost in order to fit a typical marketing strategy, in order to meet a pre-established, if you want, price on the market. And so you always do a product, and there's always like compromises. For me, Stemregen was, I want to do a product without a compromise. I just want to do the strongest, the best product that I can develop, so that there's a product here that people can really, really see the difference. And that's what the product is. So its price has been determined essentially by the quality and quantity of the different ingredients that are found in Stemregen. One way to look at it, to kind of, when I say it's not really a dietary supplement, is to look at it really on the basis of what it does to stem cells. We cannot today make the analogy that I'm going to make. So I'm making it very loosely, but we're doing studies here to basically document all of this, publish all of this. But it's basically to say, if you get a stem cell injection, you increase the number of stem cells in your circulation through an injection. Here we increase it by releasing your own stem cells. The cost of an injection, let's say with 50 million stem cells, is in the thousands of dollars. Here, 2 capsules will release anywhere between, let's say, 5 to 8 million. So you do this for a month every day, and you have released way more stem cells at a fraction of the cost. So we are doing the studies right now to be able to reach these conclusions, make all these comparisons between the various approaches. For now, let's keep it very loosely, very loose. But my point here is simply to say it is a product that has a true physiological effect by simply supporting the natural ability of the body to repair. And I don't think it's fair to compare it to just being a simple dietary supplement compared to a vitamin C. I'm sorry if that answer was long, but that's what I meant when I say it's a simple topic, but it's complicated to kind of really put everything in its proper context. There's a reason why the product is expensive, but people will see that you pay what you get. You get what you pay for.
Exactly. No, it was a great way of explaining it. Now, I've also got a question here. Is it okay to take Stemregen during pregnancy?
I will answer by being very, very cautious here. Just like anything else, do not start to do anything new if you are already pregnant. This is what your doctor will tell you, and I would just follow that same kind of general advice. But is there a known contraindication with the product in pregnancy? No, there's not. So there's not a problem if you're taking the product and you become pregnant, no problem. If you really feel here that you will start slowly, you'll make sure there's no problem with it. But the general warning here is just to say, if you are pregnant, then it's better to wait after pregnancy to start anything new in your diet, your lifestyle, your habits. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, if in doubt, always seek medical advice.
Correct.
Important. Now, another question. Lawrence has asked, if you're taking it for a year, does it then lose its potency basically after a year? So is there really a cap on how much it can do?
Okay. These questions are very difficult to answer scientifically. So we can answer them empirically and say that we have not seen this phenomenon. But I can go one step further by saying that when we actually started to do all this work, so we're in 2001, 2002, and we do all the work on ourselves. So we are the guinea pigs, so we take the product, we take our own blood, and this is basically, four of us, we did all the initial work, to document what was working. When we had all the data and we decided, okay, now we need to really expand our number and then target, just like healthy volunteers to come to the lab. Then we slowly started to see that when people took the product for the first time, they did not have as strong as a response as people who had been taking the product for longer periods of time. So it actually looks like the effect seems to actually be increasing over time as we take the product. I will not go as far as to say that as you keep going, after years, it's still climbing. All I will say is that with all the data that we have right now, there doesn't seem to be a decrease in the effectiveness of the product over time. And if anything, there could even be like a slight increase.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Another question is around nerve damage, and is Stemregen something that can help repair nerve damage? Or are you seeing anything to that effect?
Let me take this question as a platform to just answer basically any question regarding damage to a tissue. Stem cells will be specifically attracted to any place in the body where there's a damage. When there's a damage, very well, you cut your skin, you've got inflammation, you've got pain, there are a lot of compounds released locally to manage the reaction and the process of tissue repair. Some of these compounds, their mission, their focus, their aim is to attract stem cells to that location so that repair can take place in that location. So stem cells will naturally go anywhere there is tissue damage, which includes the brain. Stem cells can migrate in these tissues and transform into cells of these tissues, including the brain, the heart, the liver, the pancreas, the skin, the lung, the kidneys, any tissue. So yes, when you release your own stem cells, Stemregen will not repair your tissues. Stemregen will do something very benign. It's going to help release your own stem cells, which is a normal process of the body. But your body will use these additional stem cells for what stem cells are designed to do since the day you're born, which is to repair tissues. So yes, by releasing stem cells, your stem cells can participate to the repair of just about any tissue, which includes the nervous system.
Okay, that's great. Another question around, and I don't know if it's going to be the same answer as pregnancy, but around, is it suitable for breastfeeding mums to take?
Same thing.
So,
There's no,
yeah.
obviously, I mean, I have never heard of anything negative in mothers taking the product. I will even go, let me go one step further, because I do not want to recommend it, but I want to take away this stigma or this idea that could be a risk. In the early days when I was working with AFA, the first product with which we made all these discoveries about stem cells, there was this old momentum being developed when they called these young infant algae babies. So the product is a blue-green algae. They call them algae babies because the mothers who took this product while being pregnant just had children that were strong, were solid, no children type disease like ear infection, those kinds of things. They were maturing very fast, and so they were basically talking about, yeah, this is an algae baby. I'm not telling you that there's a real scientific reality behind this. All I'm saying is that we really have no data, nothing to say that there's something bad that could happen by taking these products. All of this being said, do not do anything new while pregnant or when you start breastfeeding. So that will be sort of the official answer.
Okay, thank you. And another question around, I've seen some around postage. I think the best thing to do is for everyone to check out stemregenglobal.com to answer questions around where they ship to. But another question around FDA approval. Now, is that something that supplements need to get, or is it, has Stemregen gone through that process?
Yes, this is a very, very common misunderstanding internationally that has been used by many companies that are a little bit deceiving, telling that their product has been FDA approved. You need to pre-register product in every countries of the world pretty much before you can market a product. Except in the United States. In the United States, you don't need to register a product. You can launch any dietary supplement as long as you follow the regulations, as long as your product is made according to GMP, good manufacturing practices. So there's a series of the regulations are there, but it's a post-market compliance, meaning after you've launched your product, if your product happens to not comply with those regulations, then the FDA can act against you. But there's no approval by the FDA. There's not such a document that will say, I have an FDA approval, but it is made by a company, a manufacturing site that is FDA certified for being a GMP certified facility. So the product is done with all the standards of quality that is found, worldwide and known to be great in the US.
Great. No, that's and where is the product made, just for everyone's reference?
Well, the ingredients come from really all around the world, but they're all gathered to a facility in Dallas, and they're made at a facility that is certified not for dietary supplement, but certified for over-the-counter pharmaceutical products. So it is actually a facility that has a certification above what is needed for dietary supplements. So it is made in Dallas.
Okay, great. That's fantastic. I think that's the crux of most of the questions. Now, I just wanted to announce part of this is that some lucky people get to try the product in the competition that we have been running. So the lucky draw, as we give a drum roll. So our 3 winners are up on the screen now. So Chin, Joan, and Supaya. Congratulations to you. Some product is coming your way. And also we have another lucky 3 winners coming up too, which is BM1. We have Jin Feng and Kai. You have won. So congratulations to our 6 lucky winners tonight. Now, Christian, just as we start to close off and round up, is there any last parting words that you wanted to share with everyone tonight? around Stemregen or stem cells. I mean, it's a super exciting topic, and I'm sure it's something we're going to be hearing about more and more, both, in the media, seeing more products come to the forefront, more people talking about it and its benefits. So, any last words of wisdom?
Well, it's very easy to get into the detail and get very complicated about a topic like stem cells. So I would say the best way to really understand what Stemregen does is to really keep it simple. Take like high altitude here and look at what stem cells do. This is your repair system. Every day of your life, you lose cells. Every day of your life, stem cells play the role of replacing the cells that are being lost. If you've got more stem cells in circulation, your body is very simply is just better at repairing, and which prevent the development, keeps you healthy. And I will go one step further. If you count the number of stem cells in the bloodstream of people who have developed all kinds of problems normally associated with aging, they all have statistically, and these studies were done, they all have statistically about half the number of stem cells that we find in healthy people. So the message here is very simple. Simply, if you have a means of putting more stem cells in circulation, it will support your natural ability to be healthy. And that's what Stemregen does. Just every day puts a little bit more stem cells in your circulation.
Yes, so why wouldn't you, I think?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a no-brainer. Well, thank you very, very much, for sharing your expertise and knowledge with everyone. I'm sure they feel like they have a much better understanding of how stem cells work, and how Stemregen can help benefit, a myriad of things for us, whether you're trying to recover or whether you're just wanting to live a healthier life and look after yourself. Now you will see that there is a discount code for this evening, which is Natalie Dau 5, and you can go over to stemregenglobal.com to get your discount, but that is strictly just for viewers watching our stream tonight. So everyone, please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, stay happy. Christian, thank you so much for dialing in all the way from Austin, Texas. And we look forward to talking to you again soon, and we look forward to hearing from all of you with your wonderful stories and testimonials from taking the product. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.